We are honored today to have our colleague from English, Vivian Jones, and a panel from around the college. The title today is mLearning Trends, Getting Past the Novelty.
Thank you very much, Ron. I want to thank you all for coming today. I know or have met all of you at least once, and that's really good, and it's wonderful to see some faces I haven't seen in a while. So welcome. Just in general, I'd like to first introduce everybody, then I'd like to give you a few remarks, and then we'll, as a panel, we'll be discussing some issues that have come up. But I'd like to maybe start with the gentleman on the panel, and if you'll...
Well, that is true.
Yes. I don't know. Could you please say your name and where you're from?
Jared Cootz, Sociology.
Deborah Ellington, Art.
Vivian Jones, English.
Carolyn Poe, Bass Division.
Julie Harless, Science, Biology.
Thank you all. So, I guess about 30 years ago, I started using computers in the classroom, and I've been teaching English since 1975. And then in 1995, when we opened the college, Martina, Ron, and I, and others in the English department knew that we wanted to get the tools of writers in the hands of writers. And we began to advocate for students having access to the technology that they needed. So I would say that I came to mobile learning in a naturally roundabout sort of way. Started teaching online in 1996. About 5 years ago, I went to a couple of conferences, and I've been reading in the area for a good while. And I realized that phones were becoming an important part of communication, especially in the world outside of the United States, and potentially in learning as well. At that time, I thought mobile learning meant you could take a whole course on the phone. Lately, I've been reading this book, The Mobile Academy, mLearning for Higher Education. You can download a sample chapter if you'd like to. And the definition of mobile learning is the one that I hope to use today. It's any activity that allows individuals to be more productive, keyword, when consuming, interacting with, or creating information, mediated through a compact digital portable device that the individual carries on a regular basis. Has reliable connectivity and fits into a pocket or purse. It does work, and it can text, but I certainly couldn't take a course on it. I'm still using my phone from 2006, Carolyn, when she goes to workshops or gives workshops, she always asks people to pull out their phone so she can see something about them. And I've been teasing her because I don't think she would guess from my phone that I've been using technology in the classroom since 1982. But anyway, that's going to be our definition for today, and you see I don't use that too much. Anyway, the other thing that I felt was really important last semester, hearing OTS's results on their survey of almost 6,500 students around the system, most of whom were Montgomery students, saying that 80% of them use a mobile device regularly. Now, a mobile device can be, of course, a laptop, a phone, a smartphone, an iPad. Really, only about 5% at that time were using iPads, but you know what? That was before Christmas 2011. So who knows what it would be today. And yes, their top 5 activities do include texting, email, checking the sports and so on, taking videos and pictures, and I've highlighted in red, fact-checking. So they actually use it for learning something. I have a Facebook account, I don't use it. Some of my peers here who are here today use their Facebook accounts a lot, and that's great. I haven't seen Facebook, which promised to have an impact on education, have the impact that was promised. So I think it's interesting for us today to talk about novelty and how that novelty wears off. In fact, even since Christmas, newspaper articles are writing about how individuals are still just using maybe 5 apps regularly, not all of the ones they've downloaded. But this example of a picture shows us how important the mobile device can be in communicating events with the world and doing research. Jared will probably tell you a little bit about some field research he's been doing, who knows. But this picture of a gentleman who, I don't know if he's doing field research. It was just one of those top 100 pictures of the year kind of thing. But I think it's a profound example of the power of a mobile device in many, many parts of the world. And finally, in English studies. The premier arm of the English group is the College Composition Communication Community, and as they defined or redefined composition in 2010, they had to acknowledge how it's changed. And they said, as composing becomes increasingly digitized, the word composition, because of its relationship to composing in other fields, helps us think about how we can compose with image, sounds, and video, as well as with words. So we're finding our composition textbooks are having visual rhetoric chapters, if not something in every chapter. So at this time, I want to bring us to the questions that I've told the panel I'll be asking them. The first one has to do with how do we see students using smartphones, tablets, or laptops. These were some of the ways that were suggested by the email that went out. And I'm going to ask Debbie Ellington to talk a little bit about, start us off on how do you see your students using these devices?
My students were using them for the first time in my drawing class, which they came up with the idea. We have a lot of homework for our students, which they have to set up their own still lifes. They have to go out, they have to do a lot of drawing. And they would bring the drawings back into me, but I had no reference to what they were drawing. They had to light them certain ways. They had certain specific, whether it was glass, whether they were out in an activity area doing gestures, where they were working with children at a zoo, something like this. So what they did was, and it was amazing to me, they were taking pictures for their iPhones, iPads, their computers, and when they would give me their homework, which I graded all the time, they would show me the image. So then we could sit and look at the image they were working from, but they were working from real life, because as we all know, if they photograph something, it flattens it. But I then could look at their work and sit with them and say, look at the lighting. Look at where this shadow is. Look at this, you're doing this gesture drawing, and they took a video clip, because almost everything now, including the phones, take a little video clip. Did you realize that you were just sitting drawing one thing for, 5 minutes rather than trying to capture something for 30 seconds? So it helped them a lot. The other thing that I found out is that more and more of my students were going to iBooks, and they were getting either rental books from the publisher, or they were getting actual textbooks. They were hauling so much around because they're hauling all their art supplies and textbooks for their other classes. And it was kind of nice because with these electronic books, they can underline, they can highlight, they have it all. And when I started talking to my students, they said, I access my stuff wherever I am. I may be sitting waiting for the movie to start, and I'm reading a bit of a chapter. So they really liked using the electronic books. These are younger students. My older students still want to hold the copy in their hand. So that's where I've been using it.
Right.